The name Vermont comes from the French Vermont, which means green mountains. Samuel de Champlain gave it this name in 1609 while exploring the new territory after canoeing down the lake that would later bear his name. Although the soil was rocky and the winters harsh, the early settlers fell in love with it. The sheer beauty of the land made up for all of the hardships that they would endure. Family farms cropped up everywhere, and soon mills appeared along the rivers and streams to provide everything from cut lumber to pottery. During colonial times, the region that would eventually become the state of Vermont was largely undeveloped. However, the people who were carving out a living here were quick to take up arms in support of the Revolution. An important battle fought during the Revolutionary War occurred near the town of Bennington. There stands a 306-foot monolith, complete with an elevator to the top, commemorating the American colonial army. Bennington was once a major ceramic center, and it's here that the Bennington Museum has put together the largest collection of Bennington pottery anywhere. Included are many outstanding, one-of-a-kind presentation pieces produced by the Norton Pottery Company. Also at the museum, in the Parmley Gallery, there's an extensive collection of free-blown stemware and blown molded glass, along with several hundred examples of 19th and 20th century American art glass. The Center Gallery features authentic early American furniture and silverware and a large collection of Vermont-made furniture. The Wasp Gallery displays the only automobile ever manufactured in Vermont. Built in Bennington by Carl Martin, it's the only authentic one remaining and is in spectacular condition. Military buffs will appreciate the exhibits that highlight the contributions of Vermonters in every major military conflict, from the French and Indian Wars to World War II. Anna Mary Robertson Moses didn't begin her artistic career until she was in her 70s. But by the time she died in 1961, Grandma Moses' paintings and yarn pictures were internationally acclaimed. Through her artwork, she recorded her past and the traditional life and activities of an age gone by. At the museum, over 28 examples of her works are on display. Just north of Bennington is beautiful Hildene House, located in Manchester. It was the home of Abraham Lincoln's only surviving son, Robert Todd Lincoln. There are tours of the house, picturesque views from the formal garden, and an excellent presentation on the history of Robert Todd Lincoln and Hildene that you must not miss. The Friends of Hildene saved this landmark from development and through the years have restored the old mansion back to its original beauty. Painstaking research on everything from the color of the wallpaper to the layout of the flower garden has made this attraction one of Vermont's most popular. Inside, the tour starts at Mr. Lincoln's beloved Aeolian organ, which was restored and now bellows out its musical score to every visitor to Hildene. From 1939 to 1953, artist Norman Rockwell made the small town of Arlington his home. His pictures, which graced popular magazines such as the Saturday Evening Post and Boy's Life, as well as Hallmark cards, became collector's items even before the paint was dry. This typical Vermont town, where everybody knew everybody else, became his canvas. The people in it became his models. More than 200 of the citizens of the local community posed for Rockwell during the 14 years that he lived in Arlington. Hundreds of his paintings are on display at the Norman Rockwell Exhibition and Gift Shop on historic Route 7A. Located in a church built in 1875, The museum is a visual wealth of information on this world-famous artist. His drawings covered several generations, from the turn of the century through the 1970s. Reproductions of many of Rockwell's works are on display and can be purchased in the gift shop. Some of the tour guides at the exhibition were models for Rockwell's drawings, and they bubble with enthusiasm about the pictures and about the man who painted them.
My name is Doris. I am here on the gossip cover, done in 1948. This is Norman Rockwell and his wife Mary. These are all local people, all friends and neighbors of his while he lived here.
In the tranquil town of Weston is the famous Weston Bowl Mill. Its wooden bowls, toys, and gifts are all handcrafted right on the premises by Vermont craftsmen who pride themselves on their attention to detail. In the old mill building, the floors might be a bit uneven after all these years, but the selection of unfinished wood products are unsurpassed in their quality and price. Children's toys and rocking chairs, baskets and birdhouses, ornate playthings, the list goes on and on. If you can't find the right gift or memento in the mill building, walk next door to the Bowl Mill's brand new gift shop. It has even more to choose from. One bit of advice, make sure that you're not in a hurry, because when you get there, you might not want to leave. For many people, winter in Vermont is the preferred time of year. The sun sparkles off freshly fallen snow, and the views from the mountains are nothing short of fantastic. Vermont also boasts some of the best skiing in the nation, and several world-class ski areas are located throughout the state. In the summer, the snow is gone, but not the lure of the mountain ski trail. The Bromley Alpine Slide, near Manchester, offers incredible views in short-sleeve weather as you enjoy the relaxing chairlift ride up the mountain. Then hang on for the most enjoyable thrills in your lifetime as you take your sled down one of 3 trails, beginner, intermediate, or expert. Don't worry, the staff will ease your fears. You don't need any special equipment or courage because the slide is meticulously maintained and the sleds come with plenty of braking power. The thrill of a mountain descent can only be described as awesome.
It's fun.
Vermont was proclaimed an independent republic in 1777 at a tavern now called the Old Constitution House, located in the picturesque town of Windsor. Several Vermonters, including brothers Ethan and Ira Allen, played important roles during the Revolutionary War. The republic became the 14th state in the nation in 1791. Wouldn't it be nice to have somebody else do the driving for a change?
All aboard! All aboard!
Climb aboard the Green Mountain Flyer as it departs from Bellows Falls on a beautiful, scenic, and relaxing 26-mile train ride through small-town hamlets, painted forests, and even past covered bridges. Watch out for the train as you enter Timber Village, Vermont's answer to the big city shopping mall. Located just a few hundred yards from Quechee Gorge, it boasts more than 350 antique and collectible shops, more than 100 arts and crafts dealers, and a country store. Exhibits and special events occur almost weekly throughout the summer, like this craft show, where the bargains are unbelievable. Vermont and New England products can be found in the country store, which carries just about everything you need, and even a few things you might not need but want anyway. The Christmas Loft is where unique and original gifts abound. A treat for the eye, it brings out the child in all. It appears that the treasure-filled shelves could have only been stocked by elves. And be certain to try out the village's original 1946 Ross Diner, which serves up a variety of foods and daily specials. Of interest are the diner's authentic jukeboxes, where you can pop in a quarter and select your favorite song from the past. Yes, it still works. After you eat, why not let the kids enjoy themselves on the train while you continue to window shop and check out the merchandise? A whole day can easily be spent shopping at Timber Village, and the kids will enjoy the many displays, too. While on your way east on Route 4, take a few minutes to ooh and ah at the spectacular views from Vermont's mini Grand Canyon, the Quechee Gorge, located in Quechee. Originally built for the Woodstock Railroad, the bridge offers a safe view of the 162-foot drop to the river below. The gorge has several hiking trails and a state park, as well as numerous gift shops and restaurants nearby. Another model farm at the turn of the century was the Billings Farm, located in Woodstock. Built in 1890 by Frederick Billings, the noted president of the Northern Pacific Railroad, the museum offers a stunning look into farm life at the turn of the century. In addition to the historical artifacts, the museum also has a full calendar of events from quilting exhibitions to harvest celebrations. The Vermont Institute of Natural Science is located high on a hill in beautiful Woodstock. The most popular exhibit at VINS, as it's known locally, is the Raptor Center. Here, 26 species of birds, all recovering from injuries or orphaned in the wild, are housed in as natural a setting as possible. You can visit with a snowy owl, the turkey vulture, or that regal American symbol, the bald eagle. These birds probably wouldn't have survived on their own without caregiving from the staff of the Institute. Through their efforts, these beautiful creatures have a second chance at life. The Institute prides itself on being an outdoor living museum, and because of this, has many programs designed to inform and entertain children. For instance, you're allowed to safely view many of these birds close up, and naturalists from the staff often stroll around with a particular bird on their arm, ready to answer your questions. Kids and adults enjoy seeing some of the birds' funny habits. In addition to the displays, there's also the popular nature walk around their pond, which includes among its many residents a family of beavers. Proctor, the town made of marble, is home to the Vermont Marble exhibit. You'll see fascinating displays and products, as well as a film shown several times a day on how marble is quarried, cut, and polished. After you leave, you'll know why no man-made product has ever matched the beauty and quality of Vermont marble. While in Proctor, visit Wilson Castle. This 30-room castle was built in the late 19th century, but was left to disrepair until Colonel Herbert Wilson purchased it in 1939. You'll marvel at the exquisite craftsmanship and remarkable detail by the European craftsmen hired by English nobility to build the castle. It's still the live-in home of the Wilson family and is one of the few museums that actually lets you walk through the rooms of the house. The tours are excellent, and the furnishings and artwork are breathtaking. Every spring, Vermonters head for their nearest sugar bush, tap the hardy maple tree for its prized sap. Vermont maple syrup is world-renowned for its flavor and purity. And in the town of Pittsford, the world's largest maple museum prides itself on its extensive collection of maple syrup gathering and processing equipment. Demonstrations and displays of the entire process, from tree tapping to gathering to boiling, are expertly provided at the museum. The process of tapping maple trees in the early spring for sap was originally developed by the American Indian. Although their methods of tapping and boiling syrup were crude, the same basic principles are used today. It takes 35 to 40 gallons of sap to make 1 gallon of maple syrup. And the quality of the syrup is a result not only of the boiling process, but also of the seasonal sap flow. Cold nights and warm days are required for the sap to flow properly. A slideshow detailing the maple sugaring process is shown throughout the day, and you can watch maple sugar candies being made in the Maple Market. You can even sample some of the delicious products made at the Maple Museum. In Middlebury, located on a beautiful stretch of land that captures Vermont at its best, lies the University of Vermont's Morgan Horse Farm. This farm is more than just a place to show off some of the world's most exquisite horses. Here, people are educated as well as entertained. The animal science courses taught on site are extremely popular with University of Vermont students, and volunteer apprentices gain valuable skills and knowledge through hands-on experience. The farm raises and trains Morgans that are sold for breeding as well as for performance and pleasure. In addition, continuous research on equine reproduction is conducted. Of course, there are also programs for children, tourists, and other visitors scheduled throughout the year. Although the UVM Morgan Horse Farm serves many purposes, their first and foremost obligation is to the continuing superiority of the breed. UVM Morgans have an international reputation for their exceptional quality. Morgan horses are prized for their diversity and temperament, making them perfect as both show ring champions or as pleasure horses. Come and see for yourself and appreciate this noble and beautiful animal known as the Morgan horse. Originally a manufacturer of oak and pine accessories, the famous Kennedy Brothers now includes more than 150 shops in what's referred to as a perpetual Vermont craft show. Craftsmen and women can usually be found working on their wares in this extensive market, where hundreds of items are on display and for sale in the huge brick creamery building. Here you'll find pottery, wind chimes, door chimes, music boxes, baskets, quilts, towels and towel racks, contemporary furniture, and antique furniture, just to name a few. Kennedy Brothers sports a factory outlet and a country store where all sorts of treasured gift items can be purchased. Also be sure to check out the upper floors, where a giant display of antiques is always on sale, and each section is stocked and maintained by independent antique dealers. If you're looking for an original, you'll most likely find it here. But when you're tired of shopping, good eats will await you in their Vermont Deli, as well as at Ben & Jerry's Ice Cream Parlor. One taste of ice cream from one of Vermont's most successful businesses will have you craving more. Without a doubt, one of the most beautiful plots of land in Vermont is this 6-acre spread in Charlotte. The Vermont Wildflower Farm is a feast for the eye, where more than 1,000 species thrive. A quarter-mile flower trail that's wheelchair accessible educates each visitor to the variety of plants that they see. On sale in the gift shop are a variety of blended seed packets and unique wildflower-related gifts and crafts. Believe me, your eyes deserve this treat. Lake Champlain separates northern and central Vermont from its eastern neighbor, New York. During the Revolutionary War, several naval battles were fought on the lake, including the Battle of Belcourt Island, led by Benedict Arnold. Although the Americans lost the battle, it did slow the British advance. In a major battle during the War of 1812, cannon fire from the Battle of Plattsburgh Bay could be heard in Montpelier, the state's capital, more than 60 miles away. The lake continued to be the key mode of transportation for goods and services up until the time that the railroads were built in the 1870s. Steamship operators then turned their attention to passenger cargo and built grand steamers and ferries like the Ticonderoga and the Vermont 3. But the arrival of the automobile ended all passenger service on the lake by 1956. Some of the steamers were converted to carry cars across the lake, but they were eventually scrapped to make way for more efficient diesel-powered craft. Of all the steamships that ran the lake, only the SS Ticonderoga remains, protected and preserved at the Shelburne Museum in Shelburne. Currently, there are 3 ferry crossings on Lake Champlain from New York to Vermont. The Lake Champlain ferries operate these beautiful craft in Charlotte, Burlington, and Grand Isle. The Grand Isle ferry to Plattsburgh, New York operates all year, while the Charlotte to Essex, New York, and Burlington to Port Kent, New York ferries are closed during the winter months when the lake freezes over. Travel was never so much fun, and it sure beats driving to the nearest bridge. A one-day visit to the Shelburne Museum is probably not enough for most people. Some 35 restored buildings are open to the public on a 45-acre tract of land. Full of surprises, the museum's collection includes oil paintings by Monet, Corot, and Degas, as well as buildings filled with American folk sculptures, paintings, and furniture. Antique weather vanes, cigar store Indians, an antique doll collection, a huge covered bridge, and a railroad station complete with steam engine and an exquisite Pullman car attached are just some of what you'll see. Remember, most of the buildings, like this meeting house, were moved from towns and villages throughout New England to the museum. Great pains were taken in the reconstruction to preserve their authenticity. This general store not only includes a barber shop, apothecary, doctor and dentist office, and a post office, it also smells like a general store, with the pungent aromas of aging cheese, dried fish, and spices filling the air. Of course, what museum would be complete without its own steamboat? Like the SS Ticonderoga, which once steamed along the shores of beautiful Lake Champlain. When your little ones get hungry, stop and have a picnic on the Teddy Bear Common, home of the Vermont Teddy Bear Company, also in Shelburne. When inside, you'll have to tear yourself away from their vast collection of genuine Vermont teddy bears just so you can take the factory tour. Adults and children alike are amazed to see teddy bears being constructed before their very eyes. Although it's no easy task to create these world-renowned teddies, the workers make it look easy. First, they cut the soft bear skin into the proper shapes, then custom sew the bear bodies together. Next, each one is given substance on the automatic bear stuffer. Finally, the costumes and accessories are added to each bear to give it its own delightful personality. They're then boxed up and made ready to travel around the world as teddy bear grams. Of course, each box is designed with an air hole just to make sure that the inhabitant arrives safely. At the Teddy Bear Factory, there's even a department that'll custom create any bear you can imagine. Because each bear is so lovingly handcrafted, the people at the factory think of each Vermont teddy bear as a family heirloom. So the next time you're in Shelburne, stop by Vermont's most unusual factory. It's a little like Santa's workshop, only better.
You want me to hold? Okay.
Fiery patriot and soldier Ethan Allen who led the Green Mountain Boys to the capture of Fort Ticonderoga during the Revolutionary War, made his home after the war here in Burlington. It was in this farmhouse that Allen lived until his death a few years after. Allen was one of Vermont's founding fathers and resisted by force claims on the land by neighboring New York. You can tour the old farmhouse and watch an informative multimedia show, as well as view exhibits on the life of Ethan Allen and the history of the young state. During the summer months, archaeological digs are common on the grounds that surround the home as students search for the remains of everything from pottery to Indian arrowheads. Tucked away on beautiful Isle La Motte, one of the Lake Champlain Islands, is St. Anne's Shrine. Explorer Samuel de Champlain landed here in 1609. And in 1666, the French constructed a fort and a chapel on the isle to protect Montreal and Quebec against hostile Indian attacks. Here, the first Catholic Mass was celebrated, and now the shrine attracts thousands of pilgrims and visitors every year to the outdoor chapel and beautiful grottos. There are daily masses which are well attended, especially during the feast days and holidays.
Let us pray.
You may have lunch in the picnic area, and campsites are available for those people making a pilgrimage to the shrine. If you're looking for breathtaking mountain scenery from exhilarating heights, catch a ride to the top of Vermont on the Jay Peak Aerial Tramway. This is Vermont's only 60-passenger tram, but it's not just for skiers. The summer and fall trips offer glorious views of Vermont's picturesque Lake Champlain, New York's Adirondack Mountains, various Canadian landmarks, and the highest point in New England, New Hampshire's Mount Washington. Some passengers only take a one-way trip on the tram, hiking up and enjoying the relaxing ride down. Many mountain bikers also catch the ride up, then bike down any one of several well-maintained trails. After a vigorous ride or hike, the pool at the base of the mountain is an inviting sight, and if you want to stay overnight, there are hotel accommodations available. Summertime is one of the best-kept secrets about Vermont. The once snow-capped landscape looks as if it's been painted with a vivid green brush. Canoeing and hiking are among some of the more popular activities. Many of the attractions featured in this video have extensive summer hours. Also, many special events singular to Vermont occur in the summer, like Yankee Crafts Fairs and the annual Quechee Balloon Festival, which draws visitors by the thousands. Another one of Vermont's famous museums is the Fairbanks Museum of Natural History, located in St. Johnsbury. Considered one of the finest centers of environmental education in New England, this museum has an extensive collection of mammals, birds, reptiles, insects, and whatever else goes bump in the night. Just down the road a country mile or so is the Maple Grove Maple Museum. Maple syrup is Vermont's most famous export, and the Maple Museum offers not only tours and displays on how maple syrup and maple candy are made, but also has them for sale in their gift shop. Maple Grove Farms of Vermont is one of the largest distributors of not only maple products, but also gourmet dressings and sauces. In their kitchens, you'll find them cooking up everything from powerful blue cheese dressing to their famous barbecue sauce. Originally started at the turn of the century by 2 Vermont women, it's still locally owned and operated. And all their delicious products are available by mail order. Further inland, in the country town of Cabot, is the Cabot Farmers Cooperative Creamery. This is where the famous Cabot cheese, butter, and other dairy products are made and processed. Their cheddar cheese is rated best in the USA, which is not surprising considering the quality control and research that goes into every product. But you can judge for yourself by enjoying a sample as you take the tour of the plant and facilities. This 400-member family farm cooperative was started back in 1919 by local farmers from the Cabot area. Originally, their only product was butter, but today, the creamery produces everything from sour cream to low-fat yogurt. If you leave the creamery without at least one slice of cheese, you'll be one of the few visitors that have ever avoided this dairylicious temptation. There's nothing like a Vermont apple, so it stands to reason that Vermont apple cider has to be the best that money can buy, too. That's probably why the Cold Hollow Cider Mill in Waterbury makes cider year-round. This is one of Vermont's most popular attractions, and you can watch as some 70 bushels of apples are ground up and then compressed by the huge cider press. The river of apple juice, which flows from the process, produces over 200 gallons of cider from each pressing. The workers are friendly and more than willing to talk with visitors about the process. Of course, real Vermont jams, jellies, and other products are always on display at this family-run business. The State House in Montpelier is considered by many as one of the most beautiful state capitals in the nation. With its 14-karat gold leaf-covered dome, with the Roman goddess of agriculture Ceres on top, it's a perfect example of Greek Revival architecture. The perfect eye-opener on your trip to Vermont will be a tour of the world-famous Rock of Ages granite quarries in a town aptly named Graniteville. Here you can take guided tours around the granite yards, look down into gigantic quarries, and from a safe distance, watch man and machine chip away at one of the hardest materials known. There's also a gift shop and a display full of fantastic gift ideas. Don't miss this attraction. While on your way back from the granite quarries, take a detour through the quiet town of Brookfield to see and drive over the unique floating bridge. First built in 1820 by Luther Adams and his neighbors, this bridge is the 7th built at the site. Fall foliage time is considered by many to be the best time to visit Vermont. That's when Mother Nature puts on a visual symphony as the cool fall weather triggers each leaf to change color. The spectacular reds, orange, and yellows of the trees inspire all who come to see it. Vermonters take a great deal of pride in their locally produced beers, and nowhere is this more evident than at the Catamount Brewery. Produced in White River Junction, their beer and ale is made only from fresh, natural ingredients with no chemical additives. Their brewmaster's skill produces a beer that has already received several national accolades. Catamount Ale is brewed from only 4 ingredients: pure Vermont water, a selected strain of fermenting yeast, Midwestern barley malted to exact specifications, and fresh choice hops. A tour guide takes you around this microbrewery and explains the various aspects of beer making as it occurs. You'll see the barley crushed in the roller mill and then mixed with hot water and filtered into the mash tun. This mixture, known as wort, is then boiled in the brew kettle where the hops are added for bitterness and aroma. After cooling, the wort is sent to the fermentation tank where yeast is added. This brew ferments in the tank for 5 days, then ages in conditioning tanks for 14 more days. Finally, the beer is filtered for clarity. The remaining dry wort is picked up by local farmers who in turn use it to feed their livestock. The most visual part of the presentation is the end, of course, the capping, bottling, and labeling. After the tour, visitors are invited to taste the 4 beers that Catamount produces year-round: Catamount Gold, Catamount Amber, Catamount Porter, and Ethan Allen Ale. If you're like most beer drinkers, you'll find it impossible to leave without taking home a few samples. Down in White River Junction is 25,000 Gifts and Woolens, one of the largest and oldest gift shops in the state. You'll be hard-pressed to find a real Vermonter or visitor to the state that hasn't been there at least once in his or her lifetime. For more than 50 years, this has been the only place to shop for the uniquely Vermont gift you couldn't find anywhere else. Whether it's the ordinary or the novel, you'll find it here. When you walk into Basketville, you're likely to be overwhelmed by the number of baskets you'll see. Every size, shape, and color of basket you can imagine fills the shelves or hangs from the walls and the ceiling. Basketville is the world's largest producer of genuine American splint baskets. And if you're walking the floors of their Putney store, note that some of the baskets you see are being created from whole trees right across the street. These baskets are fashioned from native Vermont white ash logs, which are sawed up in the mill. Then the wood is cut into 2 types of strips: the filler, used for weaving, and the stander, which is used to make the structure. These strips must be kept wet so they'll be more pliable as they're painstakingly fashioned into baskets. The bottom is set up, the standard is molded, and the filler is hand-woven onto the mold. The final pieces of the basket are then nailed into place. Although the basket looks complete, it still has a few more important steps to go through. The pieces that don't fit are cut off, the rough edges are sanded by hand. Then the quality control employees check it over, making sure that it's worthy of the Basketville name. Finally, it's tagged, stamped, and boxed, ready to be sent all over the world or right next door to the store. As well as baskets, Basketville carries many items, such as a large selection of beautiful wicker furniture. If you're looking for a handmade quilt, a straw hat, or even perhaps just a basket, Basketville is the place to go. You probably didn't know that the town of Putney's most famous summer resident is none other than Santa Claus. Yes, his Santa's Land is a must for any children that visit the state. The convenient walkways are full of the kind of fun and merrymaking that only Santa and his family of elves can bring to an attraction. The ever-popular choo-choo train and the country wagon rides take you around Santa's summer place. After paying the admission fee, all the rides are free. Santa wouldn't have it any other way. There are many animals to see and pet, like the goats that always welcome company. And don't forget to say hello to Donder and Blitzen. Rudolph's in there somewhere. Santa even keeps a camel around, just in case a sandstorm in the Sahara Desert slows the reindeer down. You can have a picnic near Santa's home if you'd like, and feel free to use the slides and swings. Santa's summer home is open to every child, no matter what the age, and he welcomes everyone to come for a visit from May until Christmas. It's been a long journey through the state, so why not stop and celebrate with a bottle of wine from Vermont's North River Winery in Jacksonville. There, you can taste award-winning wine housed in an 1850s farmstead. The free tour of the winemaking process and the wine tastings occurs 7 days a week through the summer months and Friday through Sunday during the winter. To visit Vermont is to love Vermont. Whether it's a tour of one of its famous attractions or simply enjoying the view, you can be sure that it'll be a memory cherished forever. Come to Vermont anytime, winter, spring, summer, or fall. You're always welcome in our backyard.